Hey all! I am back here, your AI book reading assistant. I am here to help you with utilizing your time by reading your favorite books for you. Hope you'll have a great time. Let's begin. Today I am gonna read an interesting book by John Richardson and Hugh Gilmartin, Wake Up and Smell the Profit. A really fun read, full of proven ideas and sensible advice to make money but also enjoy your business at the same time. A must for anyone wanting to start a coffee bar, and many operators would benefit from a read as well. Chapter 3, It's All About the Money, a Little Story. Okay, what's the deal here? You promise 52 ways to make more money and then you proceed to use up 3 of them preaching to me that it is all about the money? Well, yes. That's exactly what we are doing, but look closely at the 52nd way and you will notice we have dropped an extra tip in for you. So remain calm and let us carry on. We can't say this enough, it is all about the money. You need to get that and then get it again. It's time for a true story of Johnny. When I was young, naive and full of my own immortality, I had a very successful sandwich and coffee shop chain which was expanding at a ferocious rate. We were growing far too fast, and although the business was basically profitable, we had totally run out of cash. One of my business partners also acted as the accountant, and unknown to me and my other partner had accrued huge debts in his own name. One day we arrived into work to discover he had gone personally bankrupt and there were several huge holes in our accounts. Since it was a partnership, our bank financing immediately stopped and the wonderful growing business very quickly turned into a horrible, scary nightmare. We immediately removed the bankrupt partner and ran around like headless chickens pulling in cash from whatever source we could. Desperate to find a way to prop up the business and pay our suppliers while we tried to refinance. A large customer put us in touch with a gentleman in his 70s who had previously helped him in a similar situation. This character was worth well in excess of 40 million euros and certainly had the financial wherewithal to rescue us. He arrived at the door in his huge Mercedes S500, but didn't he cut much of a physical person's himself. He was small, wore a cheap brown suit and chain smoked the entire time he was with us. He asked, "Okay boys, let's see where we are. How much money did you make last week?" "Well," I spluttered, "we don't know that. We haven't even got our accounts for last year yet. How can we work out our profit for a week? There are 4 shops and a factory." "What do you mean you can't work out your profit for a week?" he asked with a curious look on his face. "I have a big cafe over in Bangor and this is what I do," he said. He took out an old brown envelope from his pocket and with the cigarette hanging from his mouth started writing at the top of the page with a chewed BIC biro. "At the start of the week I count all the stock in the shop. Everything. Every single thing. Every tea bag, every sugar cube and every single item of food. And then do you know what I do?" I glanced in a bemused fashion at my partner. "ERRR. No," he said, "I record what I buy every day and record my sales every day. At the end of the week I count up all my wages and recount the stock. So what do you think I have then?" Like a naive food, with my fancy business studies degree, I answered, "Error. I have my profit, I just take off the rent and a few other things and I have my profit. Every week. Every single week. I count at the start, count at the end and research during the wage." "Now, is that hard?" he asked. "No, well, I suppose not. But what about depreciation and accruals?" I asked, trying to pretend that I grasped the whole thing and was at least as clever as he was. "Forget 'em. They don't matter for this. I can include them afterwards. These are your fundamentals. These businesses are simple but gotta know your fundamentals. This is how it works. You pay X for your food, Y for your wages and what's left is your profit contribution. Do that and we'll know where you are. Now will you do that for me?" he asked. "Okay," I mumbled. But I knew we wouldn't, and I think he knew too. We could never do that over all our shops and the factory. It would take up too much time, and anyway you couldn't accurately tell how much money a business of our size was making with that method. Or so I thought. He got up, handed me the brown envelope with his spidery writing on it, and jumped into his Mercedes. 1 week later he returned and asked for the figures. We mumbled and stuttered and made our excuses about being too busy trying to save the business. He fixed us with a cold stare, wished us good luck, and left. 2 weeks later we shut the doors on the business. We were unable to meet our creditors and had to lay off all 30 staff who worked in the factory. We sold the shops for a fraction of their true value and got together just enough money to stop us from going bankrupt. A harsh lesson. Particularly harsh since we subsequently realized that since we had got rid of the accountant partner, we had been making about €8,000 profit a month. We could easily have saved the business with a relatively small cash injection, and our friend with his sound fundamentals could have provided the money at the drop of a hat. Fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. And the biggest fundamentals of all is that it's all about the money. It's not about awards, it's not about ego. It's not even about seeing a customer's face when they've had a great cup of coffee or a wonderful lunch. It's about the money. It's about making really, really sure that the whole thing adds up. That you're not living in some romantic dream world of serving customers and keeping them happy and making sure they don't feel ripped off. Needless to say, in any business that we have jointly or separately operated since then, the fundamentals are never ignored, and we always do a weekly profit and loss. Always. The fundamentals of business are ultimately the same as the fundamentals of anything. If you don't get them right, then you are sunk. So is it clear? It's all about the money. Hope you enjoyed the reading. I will upload the next chapter tomorrow 11 a.m. Stay tuned and do not forget to subscribe my channel.